Brother. Hi, your name again is?
My name is Michael Lindley.
And what was your,
I was a boatswain's mate in the Navy. I'm the
okay.
chapter president of Veterans for Peace Los Angeles.
Now why, you guys have been doing this for decades, 15 years, 14 years you said, so you started in 2014, and I've been coming down here and seeing it. It moves me because why have the vets decided wars don't work? Because you are the guys who run this stuff.
Well, it's too old-fashioned. Let's put it that way. One thing we haven't do is
kind of like feeding the Christians to the lions.
We haven't learned how to make peace.
No.
And that's what we need to do. That's part of our organization's, our statement. The thing is that why wars don't work? Because the wars aren't the same anymore, and wars are more violent. When people are violent, when you're violent to a person, they're going to be violent back. So that's we know this for the fact that we've been here now for the longest period of time, 14 years. And what do? We have we're really nowhere. They say, well, things are getting better, but we know that if things are getting better, why are they putting in an average about 1,000 troops every month go into Afghanistan? And obviously things aren't settled in Iraq because there's bombings all the time, and so
North Korea.
Yeah, and North Korea and all this other kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that and what we forgot, what we don't know how to do is dialogue, and try to understand who people are and why they are who they are, and we need to do that. Wars don't work because they cost too much money.
And innocent people die.
Yeah, and you see people die. And
now you have different.
The old story about winning.
Yep.
You look around this memorial. None of these young men and women won.
Now there's different colored crosses. There's the red and the white and I think it's blue is the other color. What do the different crosses mean?
Okay, red one stands for 10.
10 people.
10 people died. The white one stands for a single person. We started out with single crosses.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then the blue one is the blue one is more recent. People who have died.
Larger collections
on that week.
Yeah.
So,
now some don't they also represent different countries' casualties, or are these all just U.S. casualties?
No. Hey guy, why don't you just put it down and leave it alone?
Yeah, this is an ongoing. Sir, please.
Just leave it alone. Drop it.
This is an ongoing thing the vets do for the public. You're messing with the public display. This is art.
So,
Idiot.
Anyway, wars don't work because it makes people angry, and nobody wins in the end. Even, like, for example, we talk about World War II.
Yep.
All the people, young men and women, died in World War II. We dropped 2 atomic bombs on
Hiroshima
yep. and Nagasaki. The thing is that, if we could learn how to do dialogue and start working from that point on, then we could change things. But we don't know how to do dialogue. Again, I'll keep on saying that. I'll repeat that.
Isn't it funny how Eisenhower in '59 said, "Beware of the military complex"?
Yeah, sure.
How did that, now being part of that military complex and now being opposed to the way we currently do our strategic warfare, how does that resonate with you? His warning and where we've come to.
It was a warning. It was. He knew the truth. He knew that about the money and the different problems, and so he made a decision to speak about it. Of course, he's the general. He knows. He experienced all that.
And he was on the front line.
He has actual experience. So what Eisenhower said was very meaningful, but we still don't listen to him. Right now the military complex has got a hold of our government. Our government is spending, we're spending a lot of money that we don't need to be spending.
And that's not even including our black ops either.
I'll give you an example. The United States, Russia, China, England, France, Australia probably have about 40 bases around the world. We have over 800.
Yeah, and if you don't give us a base, we'll put sanctions on you. We'll shut your country down until you give us what you want.
So that shows that, the cost of war. The cost, again, we have to pay for all.
And that doesn't even mention the carnage.
Right. And so we need to understand that, we need to really be drawing down. another thing, Trump wants to make a new nuclear force. He wants to improve, supposedly improve our nuclear weapons. I don't know how the hell you can.
The same guy who got rid of the EPA and everything else.
I don't know how the hell you can improve a nuclear weapon. You know what I mean? Even if you make it smaller, that means you have to drop more to do your job. You know,
Right.
and if you drop 2 or 3 of them anyway, that's it. You know,
Well, and remember, he's making money on each one of those bombs. He has a vested interest.
So that's one of the things we have to recognize. We have to recognize that, you know, that it's also sales. What happens is Trump uses, well, all of them use fear. They answer fear
Right.
to keep things moving.
Things that'll keep your hot buttons going.
And he sits there and he talks about the Muslim ban and all that, but he's not talking about. But one thing he doesn't talk about is all the white males killing everybody in America.
Amen.
And that's
hate crimes have risen in the last couple of years.
What he did is he talked about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mental health is a fact. It's here. It's getting worse. We're not doing anything about it.
Well, we cut all the benefits out for it
Yeah,
now.
and what we need to do is
Thank you,
correct
Donald.
that problem. Correct that problem, and if we could do that, you know, we could progress. We're not progressing. We're actually degressing.
Well, and entertainment, which I work in part has to take responsibility that we've conditioned kids since the gladiators. Hey, you hear kids coming running out of the room at age 10 going, high five, I got the most kills in video games instead of games about being humanitarian and having manners and getting the most points for doing stuff to help others and talk like you're talking about. Is there any truth to the rumors that I've heard as federal contractor, you've been federal intel, that sadly America and the allied nations are the terrorists, that we help fund the dark ops that are ISIS's and to keep us all in fear?
If you go through somebody's front door and with a gun and scare the people inside, and there are innocent people inside, that's terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
We're really no different.
Yeah.
They'll come up and they'll bring up torture. Well, you know, what did Trump do? He changed the rules of engagement, and it's all right to torture now. That's what he says. It's all right to torture. You know,
well, and let's clarify, when they do the subcommittee hearings and say, oh no, we do not waterboard on U.S. soil, technically correct, but once you're on a U.S. military base, it doesn't matter where it's at or the White House, you're on federal property, son, you're no longer on U.S. soil.
So that's a big problem. And so when you sit there,
which encourages more hate crimes.
And in a sense, it's like this: I don't encourage torture, but our government does. That means that they're allowed, even though they may disagree, they're allowed to torture our soldiers. You see, I mean, it's and which is
because we've set the rules of engagement.
You know, so the thing is that, you know, but he say, oh no, that they can't torture our troops, but you know what the hell, you know, we're torturing them. And we're force feeding people in the Guantanamo still. Right. That hasn't changed.
And other areas we control.
Once he got he opened up those black sites around the world.
All the black ops.
Yeah, and so the thing is we need to understand that, you know, we need to go in a different direction, be progressive. We need to go and, you know, instead of spending money on war, we ought to need to be spending on healthcare and education.
Sir, did you have a cigarette? You said you were going to give me seconds.
Sir, we're right in the middle of an interview. Could we finish what we're doing? Sir, please, have some manners. Try. I know it's hard for you. And that's part of our culture also right now, that we've lost all manners and respect. Yeah. We're in the middle of a television interview, and this person's moving her stuff, and we're begging him to leave it alone. But getting back to a key point I wanted to ask, there are some that you are how old, sir?
Excuse me?
How old are you?
I'm 73.
Okay, and you're older than I am, and I'm 58, but I've become disillusioned as an American citizen. I'm embarrassed what our country has become with the lack of respect for each other, the self-entitlement issue, and it's almost like we're the land of the paranoid, the over self-indulgent and self-entitled, and we're the biggest pigs, and we should learn some manners and say, you know what, we're sorry, we've been the terrorists. Hey, we should do something for, like you're talking about, for peace, and sit down and learn how to talk through this.
You know, it comes down to another thing too, is the ego. You know, here we got a president whose ego is so out of control that we don't. But you know, he doesn't. He thinks that what he's doing is a great thing.
Well, and he just pointed on CNN that the people who got shot over the Russian thing was a hate crime because of the Russian probe, that people were shot. Wow, how bad do we need to twist this any further?
I mean, you know, it's just...
It's clear we're trying to overthrow the U.S. government.
Right. You know, so the thing what we need to do is change our directions, go forward, learn to communicate. You know, we need to sit down, and our diplomats have to learn how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
They have to know. You know, sanctions is a joke. Because
if you don't give us what we want, we'll give you sanctions, embargoes, and we'll shut you down.
When you sanction, you cause, for example,
more hardships.
Clean water.
Right.
You know, people are in Syria and Yemen and these countries. They don't have ways to purify their water because we destroyed their water systems.
Right.
So what happens?
And we haven't rebuilt them either.
And what happens is cholera breaks out, polio breaks out, all these diseases break out.
Ebola.
And that's a fact. But you got people like Donald Trump who says, well, maybe they all deserve to get, that's the attitude he has, because he has to have that attitude because he's doing what he's doing. And I'll be right there. And so the thing is to do is to, tell the public, talk to the public and say, hey, this is what's really going on. You have to understand that. A lot of them will, in a sense, sort of reject what you have to say, but it's up there. Once you get it up here, the more and more they see evidence or see these things going on, then the more and more it stays up there and it comes out to the front. The people change their mind.
Well, and maybe as a party shop, we need to rethink our government. Hey, if you make the laws, you live by the same laws you make. You don't get to do your kickbacks and lobbies and other stuff in selfish interest.
Right.
It's we the people, not we the people who make the laws, and the rest of you get to deal with this shit.
Right.
What's your parting shot to the world? Why this is so important and why we should learn how to get along?
My parting shot is to listen and to reason. You have to understand what reason's all about. If you start reasoning and look at the situation.
But what if my God's better than yours?
And we look at the situation, then we can change the situation. But if we don't look at the situation, if we don't reason the situation, that means that we're going to keep going on the same way we're going on and on and on.
Insanity.
And we cannot do that.
No,
we have children who are going to be paying for this war when they're young and when they're younger, that are just babies. They'll be paying for this war. And we got to stop that. We got to stop it today.
And the pollution.
What's that?
The pollution we're doing to this planet.
I didn't hear you.
The pollution to the planet.
Yeah,
we got to stop destroying this planet with bombs and toxic waste we're pouring into water now. We'll all have water like Flint, Michigan soon. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's time we, the people, rise up and say enough already.
Rise up.
God bless
Peace.
you, brother. Hope to see you on the Council for World Peace. Thank you. And you gave me a card, right?
Yeah, I did.
Does it have a cell phone number? I'll text you a link when I post it.
It has a
Or
right now
or an email on it. I can send you a link. But if you have
my email isn't on there.
Oh, all right.